The case of artisanal mining in Bolivia. Local participatory development of mining investment opportunities. Presented by Miguel Fajardo, Cesar Flechas, Javier Otero, and Carlos Zapata. Operation and Energy Mining Project Management. Master of Management of Energy Mining Industry. Faculty of Education in Virtual Environments, School of Business Administration, University. May 2016. Despite the buoyant expansion of Latin America's mining sector, the small-scale mining subsector remains marginalized. For many countries with small-scale mining resources, the way forward to sustainable mining development is not clear. Activities, in far too many cases, have led to environmental damage, social inequity, and political violence among mining communities. A recent study conducted by the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean concluded that the progressive retrenchment of government from the mining sector has turned the attitude of local populations from passive to active resistance. Mining communities have heard promises of better economic conditions for several decades. They now want to have access to those resources that will meet their pressing needs. Another study observes that there has been a considerable increase in small-scale mining activities in 35 countries reviewed in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. In certain cases, the increase has been as much as 700%, but on the average, it has been between 10 and 20%, as compared with 1,993. These mining activities are characterized by use of lower intensive methods of exploitation and anti-rudimentary mechanization leading of low output. This brings about a situation characterized by unacceptable levels of environmental damage, informal legal procedures, unorganized management, low quality jobs, and low fiscal revenues. The study estimates that this trend has increased in Latin America during the past 20 years. In Bolivia's mining sector, social inequity is pervasive and holds the mineral resource captive. This situation is further aggravated by the fact that solutions in the short term are uncertain. Unresolved social inequity, compromised foreign direct investments, and social considerations are becoming increasingly important to mining corporations when deciding whether to invest. In certain cases, this situation has led to weakened government presence and active resistance on the part of local populations, resulting in widespread lawlessness. In other cases, social inequity among mining communities has held the mineral resource captive. The overall result has been increased political violence and continued argument over mining rights among authorities, mining investors, and local communities. It is hoped that as social inequity decreases throughout the sector, the increased stability will enable stakeholders to consider foreign direct investment within the framework of the country's sustainable human development goals.
Good afternoon. To answer the question, what do you consider were the key elements for participation of artisanal mining in Bolivia? Artisanal mining in Bolivia is a process that generates economic growth and distributes wage equality. The mines are situated in the mountain east region on the highest elevation in the world to be inhabited. The social inequality of artisanal mining in Bolivia compromise foreign direct investment since in social considerations are becoming increasingly important to mining corporations when deciding whether to invest. The strategy of artisanal mining in Bolivia revolves mainly around implementing alternative sustainable livelihoods with the participation of the government, the private sector, NGOs, and donors as facilitators and patrons. Many artisanal miners now work under cooperative arrangement, although the cooperative served mainly as larger organizations rather than economic entities exploiting resources. A cooperative is composed of 10, each of which might have up to 10 workers. The team is independent of the cooperative in this production, processing, and trading decisions.
Good night. In Bolivian, mineral exports accounted for 22% of total land export in 2012. This suggests that the contribution of oil and mining to government revenue in the country is important. Bolivian money country, but lacks a money policy that allows it to develop its priority forces. It continues under the traditional system of extraction and export of metals and minerals without prior industrializations. The regulation stipulates that only Comibol can close agreement with private capital to export the deposits of the country, leaving aside popular front of associations suit a Coapilex. The mining sector in Bolivia claiming that the regulation that facilitate the usage of phenol resources for fuel production projects, plants, protections, and explorations for new mineral deposits is achieved. Additionality is important to work on the identification and characterizations of illegal mining activities. Thank you.
Good night. Describe the role of the community in this case. What highlights aspect of its characteristics? The context in which mining move in Bolivia has taken a very different course, especially in recent years, driven by the claims of indigenous people and communities near mining operation to achieve increasingly greater participation in the mining business. Unlike other Latin American countries, where there is a tacit opposition to mining in Bolivia, the situation is very different because most mining conflicts originate in the interest of indigenous peoples to work in mining, and that's one of the reasons main why encroachments to medium. Smaller cooperatives that are against any rule of law that respects the ownership of the mining operation occur regarding the new constitution of the state of Bolivia. It is also include to population affected by mining is entitled to participation through mechanisms such as prior consultations. This in order that there are may be an acceptance or consent of the community towards the realization of a mining project in their regions. The current Bolivian context concerning nations and native indigenous people and mining projects surrounding populations regarding this industry is complex and uncertain. Regarding the emergence of the new Bolivian constitution, there have been increased conflicts between communities and many companies, given that many recards have the right to compulsory consultation regarding the exploitation of non-renewable natural resources in the territory where they live and participation in the benefits of exploitation, playing according to their interest has the right to reject mining. Well, we have the reference that we worked about this presentation is Quiroga A, the year 2002, the case of artisanal mining in Bolivia, local participatory development and mining investment opportunities, Natural Resource Forum 26, the page 127 and 139.